The TGI Youth Empowerment Act is a new law in California designed to help LGBTQ plus youth feel safe and supported. Its main goal is to make sure families accept and understand their children, especially when it comes to gender identity. The law specifically says that parents should actively support and acknowledge their child's gender identity. This is considered really important for the mental and emotional health of LGBTQ plus youth. The act aims to tackle the problems of discrimination and stigma that many LGBTQ plus young people face. Discrimination means treating someone unfairly because of who they are, and stigma is the negative way people sometimes think or talk about certain groups. In this case, it's about treating LGBTQ plus individuals unfairly or talking about them in hurtful ways. By emphasizing the importance of parents supporting their child's gender identity, the law hopes to create a legal framework to deal with any issues that might arise within families. Sometimes, families might find it challenging to understand or accept their child's identity, and the TGI Youth Empowerment Act provides legal tools to address these challenges. In simple terms, this law wants to make sure that LGBTQ plus youth have a good and supportive environment at home. It says parents should actively support their child's gender identity to make sure they feel loved and accepted. The law also tries to stop any unfair treatment or hurtful attitudes towards LGBTQ plus individuals. It's like a set of rules to make families a safe and happy place for everyone, no matter their gender identity. While the TGI Youth Empowerment Act has good intentions, some people are worried about how it might affect parents, especially those with conservative Christian beliefs. Critics say that the law doesn't have enough details to tell the difference between supporting a child's gender identity and respecting the rights of parents. Specifically, those who follow conservative Christian beliefs are concerned that the law could be used against them. The main worry is that activist groups with more progressive views might misuse the law. They could use it to accuse Christian parents of doing something wrong, based on what the Bible teaches. The Bible, a holy book for Christians, has certain teachings about gender roles and relationships, and some people are concerned that sticking to these beliefs might be seen as a problem under this law. Critics fear that without clear guidelines, there might be misunderstandings. They worry that activists might use the law to accuse Christian parents of mistreating their children just because of their beliefs. This could lead to serious consequences, like taking children away from their families. In simple terms, some people are concerned that the TGI Youth Empowerment Act, while trying to protect LGBTQ plus youth, might not be clear enough. They worry that it could be used against parents who have certain religious beliefs, creating problems for families who want to follow their faith while also supporting their children. The key is finding a balance so that everyone's rights and beliefs are respected. To grasp why some Christians are worried about the TGI Youth Empowerment Act, we need to look at what the Bible teaches, according to their beliefs. Many Christians follow traditional ideas that highlight specific roles for men and women and see non-heteronormative identities, those outside typical male-female relationships, as not aligning with their understanding of the Bible. In simpler terms, traditional Christian beliefs often say that men and women have specific roles or jobs, like a guideline for how they should act. They might also believe that relationships should usually be between a man and a woman. This is because they interpret certain teachings in the Bible this way. Now, with the TGI Youth Empowerment Act, the concern is that the law might not be clear enough. Some critics are worried that the lack of clear rules could lead to problems for Christian parents who follow these traditional beliefs. They fear that these parents might be accused of mistreating their children just because they stick to what the Bible teaches about gender roles and relationships. So, the worry isn't necessarily about the law itself, but about how it could be used. Critics are concerned that if the law isn't very clear, it might be misused to accuse Christian parents of doing something wrong based on their beliefs. This, in turn, could lead to serious actions like taking children away from their homes. In simple words, some Christians are anxious because they think the TGI Youth Empowerment Act might not give enough clarity. They fear that, without clear guidelines, they might face accusations and problems just because they hold traditional beliefs based on their interpretation of the Bible. Finding a balance that respects both the rights of LGBTQ plus youth and the religious beliefs of parents is the challenge here. The discussion about the TGI Youth Empowerment Act shows how important it is to find the right balance between two crucial things: making sure LGBTQ plus youth are protected and respecting the rights of families who have their own beliefs. It's like trying to walk a careful line to make sure everyone's needs and rights are considered. On one side, the law wants to create a safe space for LGBTQ plus young people. It aims to shield them from unfair treatment and make sure they feel supported within their families. This is really important because everyone deserves to be treated well and feel accepted, no matter who they are. On the other side, there are concerns that the law might unintentionally affect families who have certain religious beliefs, like those rooted in Christianity. These families worry that their rights might be in jeopardy if the law isn't clear enough. It's crucial to understand that many people hold strong beliefs, and respecting these beliefs is a significant part of a free and diverse society. To make this work, we need to carefully understand both perspectives. We must acknowledge how important it is to protect LGBTQ+ youth from discrimination, while also making sure that laws don't unintentionally interfere with the rights of parents to raise their children in line with their beliefs. In simple terms, it's about finding the middle ground, understanding both sides of the story. We want to protect young people who may be vulnerable, while also making sure that families can follow their beliefs without unnecessary problems. Striking this balance means creating laws that do good without accidentally causing difficulties for others. It's a bit like trying to make sure everyone can be happy and respected in our diverse and varied society. Some people who are worried about the TGI Youth Empowerment Act are concerned that it might lead to a weakening or erosion of what they call traditional principles. Let's break this down. Traditional principles often refer to long-standing beliefs or values that some families hold. These might include specific ideas about gender roles, relationships, or certain moral teachings. For instance, some families believe in traditional gender roles, where men and women have different expected roles in the family. The fear among critics is that the new law, if not used correctly, could contribute to a bigger change in society. They worry that it might lead people away from these traditional values and beliefs that have been around for a long time. This isn't necessarily about the law itself, but more about how it could be applied and the impact it might have on what families believe. The concern is also about the freedom families have to pass on their values to their children. Families often want to teach their kids what they think is right and important. The worry is that if the law isn't handled carefully, it might interfere with this freedom. It's like a fear that families might not have the same ability to teach their children the values they choose. In simple terms, some people are afraid that the TGI Youth Empowerment Act could lead to a shift away from what they see as traditional values. They worry that families might not have as much say in teaching their kids what they believe is right. So it's not just about the law itself, but also about how it might influence what families can teach their children about values and beliefs. Striking a balance here is vital to ensure that everyone's rights and beliefs are respected. In the ongoing dialogue surrounding California's TGI Youth Empowerment Act, the need for a careful balance between LGBTQ+ protection and parental rights remains evident. As discussions unfold, finding common ground becomes crucial to ensure both the well-being of vulnerable youth and the preservation of family values. The challenge lies in crafting legislation that respects diverse perspectives while upholding the fundamental rights of all individuals involved. Striking this balance is essential for fostering understanding, inclusivity, and a harmonious coexistence in our ever-evolving society.